Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving into a real head scratcher today, a question that's puzzled people for, well, ages. What is action? What's inaction?
It seems simple, right? But you start digging and it gets really tricky.
Yeah, our source today lays it out. Even super smart folks can get totally lost in the weeds trying to figure this out. We're looking at this piece called Action and Inaction, focusing on verse 16 of chapter 4 from the Gita for Joyful Living. And we really want to untangle this for you, break it down, maybe even get to a few aha moments for you.
I think what's so cool is right from the start, the source points out how tough it is to separate these two ideas, action, inaction. It's like the more you think you know.
The less you actually do.
Exactly. So what does the source say is at the heart of this whole thing, the real difference?
Okay, so get this. They say that your true self, your core, your Atman, it's pure consciousness, totally still, never changing.
Mm,
But then everything else, the world, your body, your mind, all that stuff they call inert, is constantly in motion, always changing.
that's a pretty wild flip from how we usually see things. Like, we feel like we're the ones doing things, right?
Totally. That's
Yeah.
why they bring up this awesome analogy. Imagine you're on a bus, right, looking
Yeah.
out the window,
Yeah.
and you see trees going by. A little kid might think, whoa, the trees are moving.
But you get it. It's the bus that's moving, not the trees.
Same idea here. They say we get tricked into thinking our conscious selves are doing the acting. But actually, it's our body and mind always buzzing, always changing. That's the real action.
It's like the quote from the source. In action, we have to see the inaction, since in reality, we do not do any action, just as trees do not move. Mind blown.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, how can we not be acting when we're doing things all the time?
Right. It's about shifting your perspective. Who's really acting?
And then they hit you with this other great analogy, like this ship that seems still.
Hmm.
You know, you're on it, everything's calm, but actually it's cruising across the
Oh,
ocean.
yeah, the source says, the non-moving ship is moving.
So even what looks like inaction.
It's still motion. From a bigger perspective, it's all relative.
And then they get into how everything, literally everything, auras, matter, energy, it's all constantly in motion.
Yeah.
From teeny tiny particles.
To huge galaxies. It's never truly still.
And that means your mind and body. Never
Yeah.
truly still either. Like your blood is always flowing, atoms are vibrating, planets are orbiting. It's wild when you think about it.
Absolutely. And this leads to this totally mind-bending teaching. Ready? You can do any action if you know that you do not act. What?
Oh man, I love this part. It's so paradoxical, isn't it? How can you do something if you're not the one acting?
Right. But what they're saying is, if you understand the difference between the Atman, which is actionless, and the body mind, which is always in motion, then you start to see things in a whole new way. You're not limited by what your physical form is doing.
And then we get to verse 4.16, which the source highlights. It says, even the intelligents are bewildered in determining what action is and what inaction is. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from the eternal cycle of pleasure and pain. It's like understanding this could set you free from all that emotional up and down.
It's a huge promise. And then they bring up these figures like Lord Krishna, who could be both active and inactive. Like they're operating on a whole other level. And it makes you think, maybe that's possible for us too.
Maybe. Okay, so for you listening, here's the takeaway. Even though everything around you seems to be constantly moving and changing, your true self, your consciousness, it's actually still. That's what the source is getting at.
And here's the question to ponder, to really chew on. How does this change how you see your own actions, your choices? Does it feel liberating to think that deep down, maybe you're not the one calling all the shots?
It's a good question. Something to think about. Thanks for joining this deep dive. See you next time.
See you then.